Hello everyone, I'm Fields Mosley with Maricopa County News.
And I'm Erica Flores. We're here at the Human Services campus on 12th Avenue and Jackson. The county helped build this facility more than 10 years ago to put resources in one place to help the homeless population.
And the campus has had a great deal of success helping thousands of people find food, temporary shelter, even medical care. But there have been a lot of changes since the temporary overflow shelter closed in May of 2015 because it wasn't safe.
Staff tracks clients to get to know them and how to better serve them. The Lodestar Day Resource Center in St. Vincent de Paul have been letting people sleep in their facilities.
And as those temporary overflow shelter numbers go down, Maricopa County is working with St. Vincent's to house a smaller number of people until February, while they still continue to find them permanent housing. Every evening, volunteers and staff at St. Vincent de Paul and Lodestar Day Resource Center put rubber mattresses on the floor.
There's 2 staff persons and a security officer here in the evenings.
As they get ready for more than 300 people to arrive.
Because of the need for shelter, the overflow shelter being closed, we actually are a shelter at night. Our ladies are actually going to sleep in our family area tonight. We're going to have about 100 women sleeping in this back area tonight. 30 disabled elderly gentlemen are going to sleep in that front half of our dining room.
These 2 facilities were never designed to house people, and this solution was only supposed to last 6 months after the temporary overflow shelter closed in April of 2015.
Everyone sat at the table and everyone problem solved, and we were able to bridge that gap. But that bridge is coming to an end. And so now we are having to look at what is the next step. And so my goal in wanting to as we talk about bringing a business mindset to Maricopa County, how do we bring a business mindset to really helping address this problem in a unique, sophisticated, and long-term way?
It has been more than a year with a patchwork of funding from the state of Arizona, Valley of the Sun United Way, in Maricopa County. The last $400,000 will run out by October. But St. Vincent de Paul is going to continue to house the most vulnerable at a reduced rate. And again, the county and its partners have found the money to continue serving people.
There is a need for shelter, but the real solution is housing for homeless, permanent housing with support services. That's the real solution. So shelters should be temporary situations. And again, there are people who are street homeless, who are out there temporarily, who don't want to engage. And we're not going to be able to affect those people. It's the people who have disabilities, have substance abuse issues, who need treatment, who want help that we can work with.
It's really about getting them on their feet and part of society and contributing in our community and self-sustaining. That's our goal.
Last year, the closing of the temporary overflow shelter presented a problem. How do you house 300 to 500 people per night? But it also gave us an opportunity to implement real change at the campus and put homeless people in homes.
Oh yeah, back at home.
Donovan Thompson has been waiting a long time to say that. He first came to Phoenix from New York for the weather.
Oh, the weather is beautiful out here today.
But he says health problems caused him to lose his job of 5 years, and he ended up at the Human Services campus.
She diagnosed me and said that I had, my body was shut down. My mind said go, 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 but my body was like burnt out, you know? It couldn't go no more, it shut down.
Once Thompson received treatment, he focused on getting a job.
So I was doing like 20 job search a day.
And he was the perfect candidate to move into this new permanent housing solution.
They said I was qualified for the rapid housing, and they offered me a 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months. After the 9 months, I'm on my own again.
Permanent supportive housing is just that. It's an apartment that they'll pay rent on, or that the rent will be subsidized. There'll be supportive services attached to the housing. So as long as they're in that housing, or as long as they're in that community, they'll have that supportive services. And what they found with that is not only is it about a third cheaper than that person bouncing through all these crisis systems, more importantly, it ends their homelessness.
We've had well over 400 placements, and we've done it with a combined approach with the state, the City of Phoenix, Maricopa County, and private funding from United Way.
It cannot be understated how important these partnerships have been to tackle a problem that is far more complicated than most people realized. When the overflow shelter closed, there were between 400 and 500 people living in the parking lot. Since campus staff started tracking everyone looking for temporary shelter, the actual number is more than 6,800 individuals.
That in order to address the homeless population, issue in our county. We need a regional approach. This cannot just be a Phoenix problem or a Maricopa County problem. This is a community problem. We need everyone involved and engaged in how do we address homelessness in Maricopa County.
Our commitment is to serve those who are most vulnerable. There are people with disabilities, there are women, there are single men, there are families with children, and so through our assessment process, working with shelters throughout the valley, we're committed to serving those most in need.
Again, the agreement with St. Vincent de Paul will run through February with the focus on permanent housing. The hope is to continue reducing the number of people using the temporary overflow shelter.
Fields mentioned the partnerships Maricopa County has to make the Human Services Campus work. We take you inside the campus so you see how they evaluate and prioritize the client's needs to get them back on their feet. People come to the Human Services Campus in downtown Phoenix for many reasons.
I lost my apartment. I lost my job.
I came out here for a change of life, not realizing what I was going to do when I got out here.
I got in a fight with my son's father and he threw me on the street.
This is their first stop when they get to the Human Services Campus. Earlier the better. David Bridge is managing director.
The Welcome Center is just where we start the process. It used to be we used to roll open this gate and then basically everybody would just come in and kind of pick a door and just start there to start their experience.
But the Welcome Center helps streamline the process.
We take you into the Welcome Center, we do a quick assessment, we kind of do an orientation to talk about what resources are available on the campus.
Through the Welcome Center, campus partners learned not everyone who comes through these gates needs to stay at the Human Services Campus.
We're now doing diversion where we actually can have some resources to maybe keep people from even needing any of these services. If we can help with a bus ticket, if we can help with some resources to redirect people to the community, we can do some of that in the Welcome Center.
For those who need the extra help, the Welcome Center guides them in the right direction.
Depending whatever the clients presents, if they say they just need shelter, then we can make referrals to the shelter. If they need health care, obviously they can go straight to the Health Care for the Homeless program right up in Maricopa County.
Health Care for the Homeless is right on campus, making it convenient for the clients to get help right away.
What are you here for today?
I came because I am having pain in my mouth from a tooth that is broken, so I'm trying to possibly get that fixed.
The clinic gets more than 30,000 visits a year.
We are a primary care office that provides health care for people who are experiencing homelessness. And so we want to be sure that if they're experiencing something acute, like an illness, a cold, a flu, a pneumonia, anything like that, that they're taking care of, or if they have an injury that we can help them with.
Some of the most common ailments the clinic treats are sunburns from people lying on the ground, diabetes, high blood pressure, seizures, and asthma.
And then there's also a lot of people with mental health problems, anxiety, depression, but also more serious health problems like bipolar or schizophrenia. And then there's a fair amount of substance abuse.
Health Care for the Homeless contracts with community bridges to help treat mental health.
We feel like we understand their needs the most, that because we know the barriers that are in front of them.
The clinic also hands out everyday health supplies to their clients, such as chapstick, sunscreen, and even feminine hygiene products.
We want to see them before it gets to the situation where they're in the hospital with an emergency situation. We don't want to wait until their kidneys have already failed from their diabetes or their pneumonia.
While the clinic may be the first stop for some people walking through these gates, for others, they just need a cool place to stay and help finding a job.
We have employment services. We have St. Vincent de Paul providing food. We have CAS providing basic shelter. We have clothing banks in a number of programs so people can get their clothing. In the summer, we hand out about 300,000 water bottles a summer to make sure that people are hydrated. People can be indoors and be safe. So safety and basic needs first.
While the number is declining, about 340 people a day end up here in one of the temporary overflow shelters.
This is our dining room where we serve our men and women. They come in through our front door and we have a wash station.
At night, the St. Vincent de Paul building has served as a dormitory.
We're here for them to help them until they make those final steps and to get in their housing.
It serves as the overflow shelter for those who do not fit in the Central Arizona Shelter Services building.
The capacity is 470, and on most nights we're at capacity. Emergency shelter is a way to get people off the street tonight and get them a bed tonight.
The Lodestar Day Resource Center has also served as a temporary overflow shelter. This is where we met Stephen Anderson.
I've been off and on the streets for the better part of 15 years.
During the day, Anderson volunteers at Lodestar.
Puts my mind at peace to know that I'm doing something, because I come here to stay, and there's always something you got to do. Let them know that you respect the fact that they're helping you out with a warm shelter over your head, meals, resources to do and get better in your life.
The number of people using the temporary overflow shelter has been dropping every month for the past year. The goal is to place more people in permanent housing so that they no longer need to stay in a shelter.
For Erica Flores and myself, I want to thank you for watching this special report from Maricopa County News. We will continue to update you about the Human Services Campus.